Hey, you know what? Yes, come along. Let me show you 5 people that money hates completely. You know what? Last time I shared with you and I told you one thing. Money is not what you think. Money is actually a dispensation of a very spiritual thing. It's actually a thing that can actually reject or actually you can attract it. Let's go along and check in. What are these or who are these 5 people that money hates completely? And this is actually contributed by some of the characters and actions that you do. And by the way, guess what? If you got yourself in this list, then you can be able to change yourself. It's not like, hey, if you're in this list, it's done for you. No, it's not. You can be able to learn something. I ain't gonna not only show you 5 people that money hates, but also I'm gonna show you what you're supposed to do so that you get out of the hate list of the money and be able to attract it. Remember all the time, you cannot make money. We attract money. The governments make money, but we attract money. And wealth is always transferred from one hand to the other. And how exactly do you do that? Let's get into the business, okay? Now, here we are now. So let's go to point number one. That class of people that money hates, the number one, there are people who we call them egocentric, and at the same time, guess what they are? They are ignorant, ignorant. I've ever met an individual whom you're seeing actually they're doing something wrong as far as the money is concerned. Somebody is devouring everything that they're getting at the end of the month. You realize somebody is paying over 40% of their salary towards a rent. Can you imagine this? Somebody is earning 30,000 Kenyan shillings at the end of the month. And that individual is paying around half of that, like 15,000 per month for the rent, and then the guy is remaining with 15,000 for eating, transport, and all those kind of things. You're gonna develop. That's for a fact. And then you tell them, hey, you know what? I think the way what you're doing as far as your money is concerned is not good because you're actually violating the principles of investment or the principles of the financial management. Then they're telling you, hey, you don't tell me. You go, you care about your things, worry about your things. Don't worry about me. Life is short. YOLO. You only live once. All those kind of things. See, the moment you actually realize that you are egocentric are these guys, even if you try to teach them something, they feel like they know everything. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you want to teach somebody, and that is somebody don't want to hear anything? It'd just be like, hey, I know everything. I remember there was a time where I was working somewhere and I was talking about something that I'm very well conversant with, but the guy is just throwing some words, just wanna see. There are people who just talk because they have to say something, not because they have something to say. See, when you meet somebody who is egocentric, somebody who has the ego, sometimes see, for you to make money you have to shake off your ego. Some people usually live in some places whereby they are paying way much rent just because of their status, just because of their ego. They're driving some of the machines that they are barely affording. And you can realize one thing: these guys, they're just a month or two from them being broke and poor. That's a reality. And especially this problem is quite pronounced in this group we call the middle incomers. These are the guys who you realize that, hey, there's a guy who care where they live, what they drive, where their kids go to school, and these guys, they're barely living. So if you are that egocentric, you have that ego deep inside of you. Some of the character that we have, that we can call it ego, can actually delimit you from making money. For example, you might see these guys who work in the CBDs of any given city, of any given, what we call it, nation. You might think that these are the guys who are making money. You go to the industrial areas of any given towns and you realize these guys, they just look rugged. And that these people are the ones who are making a lot of cash. They're the people who are driving the economies of that given city. So the point is this: you might realize and relate to you guys. You get what I'm saying, all right? So another thing is about being ignorant. You don't appreciate knowledge. You don't appreciate being corrected. You have that emotional part of you. And the moment I tell you you're not supposed to consume your money, based on your emotions, you're not supposed to do this, you feel like you want to cry. And you have ever met those kind of people who are very emotional? The moment you tell something that is, sort of different from what they believe, they kind of feel like they want to reject you. So that's a very bad character, and money hates that. Then what are you supposed to do on that? Or be open, disturb your comfort, don't have that ego. The moment you realize that you've met somebody who knows something more than you, shut up, be the teacher. And I always tell people, always apply this formula. The moment you meet someone who is new, whom you've never met in your life, take 1 minute to learn whether in this occasion, am I going to be the teacher or am I going to be the student? If you meet somebody who knows more than you, be the student. Shut up. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen. The moment you meet some people who need to be taught something, you are now allowed to talk. You now be the teacher. So learn to differentiate the occasions. And that way you're going to attract money. Don't forget, the more you learn, the more you earn. That's it. Let's go to the point number two. The point number two is none other than these people. We call them the non-intentional people. I've ever met somebody called a non-intentional. Let me just explain to you intentional, non-intentional people. Non-intentional people, these are the people who live on hope and faith. They just believe, hey, what? One day things will fall into place. One day they fall into place, but they do not have any structured plan that they are using it. See, let me tell you one secret. Whenever it comes to creation of wealth, it is an intentional process. It's like seeing somebody who is covered with muscles and has a very big chest, and you ask them, "How did you get them?" Say, "I don't know. It just happened." It doesn't happen that it isn't that guy created those muscles intentionally. So when you see somebody who is wealthy and rich and all those kind of things, it didn't just happen like that. The guy was doing something about it. And I always tell you one thing: success is always an intersection between 2 points, a hard work and a luck. So there is no way a luck can meet you, but you're not a hardworking person. You're gonna squander everything, and once you squander that, you go back to square zero. So the point is this: wealth is very much intentional. You see, you have to look intentionally doing it. How can I say it? There is a certain saying that goes in the judiciary that says, hey, justice must not only be done, but must seem to be done. You see, when you want to create wealth, you have to do it intentionally. It has to be intentional. You usually save, you manage your cash, you have a working budget, you are disciplined, you are actually sacrificing, you are consistency. You must be intentional. It can't happen just like that. You see, so money hate those people who are unintentional. People who just get the money and then they sort of, what do you say it? Like they justify themselves by like, hey, I don't earn much of money, so I cannot be able to invest. I'll wait until that time when it comes, then I'll be able to save, invest, and do all those kind of things. Then you squander whatever you have. See, you are becoming non-intentional, and you're just driving your life over the hope and faith. Even the Bible tells us the faith without action is what? Exactly. So you're supposed to incorporate that. And I always tell people, hope is a good breakfast, but a poor dinner. Start with hope, but don't end with hope. Start with hope, apply the plans and all those strategies and what have you, so that by the time we dawn, or rather the evening, then you can be able to see what, hey, I started with hope, and now where I am, I not only have hope, but I have actions accompanying that hope. That's why I'm actualizing what I'm realizing right now. And this is actually affecting most of the African people, because you find most of them, they just drive on or ride on hope, on hope, on hope, on hope. There is no action. You get everything, you squander. You get everything, you squander, or you devour. And even the Bible calls you a fool when you devour everything. That's not my words, that's what the Bible says. So the point is this: at all the time, but money hates somebody called non-intentional. Be intentional in your wealth creation. That's it. All right? You may not be able to control all the aspect or all the spheres of you being wealthy in life, but control the controllables. Then uncontrollables will fall into place. But you have to do that thing. Can you imagine this: growing old and saying, hey, I tried nothing? It is so bitter, But once you grow old and you be like, guess what? I tried like a million things. You're gonna rest in a very peaceful individual. That's what you do, all right? Let's go to the second point. Or rather, the third point. The third point, this is an individual who we call them the book-wise, but street dumps. Book-wise, but street dumps. Street dumps. Let me explain one secret, and I know most of you guys can relate to this. You see, education is not directly it's not directly proportional to you getting wealthy or getting money or those kind of things. You can be a very book-wise person. See, you're very good at the theoretical part of view. You are very good at, you can be able to define things, but how can you actually be able to use that knowledge to make money? And these are things that we were never taught in school. You see, you are taught everything about the theories, all those kind of things, but now hypothesis. Now, how can you actually use that knowledge? How can you transform that knowledge? Those things that you used to learn in English, I don't know, subordinate clause, the whatever, the lexical verbs and what. I mean, how can you tap that knowledge and transform it and monetize it, make money out of it? Is a skill that we were never taught. And money really hates individuals who are just book-wise. You see, by the way, in Kenya, we had somebody, I think he was, I don't know, you can verify this if I got it right. I don't know, some 24 certificates or degree, I don't know, it was degrees or certificates or whatever it was. The guy was complaining that he's earning around $1,000 USD per month. And the guy was like, oh, with all these books and whatever, I deserve to be paid a lot. See, now you're lost. You've lost the game. You think like because you have a lot of degrees, a lot of whatever, now you ought to be paid a lot. No. People are paid based on their perceived value. You may have all that knowledge, but how to tap that knowledge, to transform it, be of importance not only to you but to the community. How you use that knowledge, and then they can be able to pay you. See, that knowledge is not there, and that's why you meet some of the street dumps people, or rather, some of the streetwise people in the society. They're making way a lot of money because they have already known the secret. So I am not pushing away like bookwise is not important. It is, but at the same time combined with the streetwise. See, when you have the street wisdom, when I say street wisdom, I mean like you know how the things works. You know what you can get from where and sell to who and be able to make some cash. You actually know how the power of negotiation. These are things that you never get learned to school or from school. You understand, hey, guess what? I have this knowledge. I can be able to formulate a business plan. I can be able to write a business proposal. I can show up to a certain business. And the problem that people do, the moment you have a bookwise knowledge, you always present yourself to a given company as an individual who is begging. And that's why you find most of the time you start a job application, I beg to write. See, now, at this particular point, with this kind of a wisdom, you're supposed to present yourself as a valuable individual in that company. Start by showing them what they can gain from you. And then from that, act on them gaining that what you promised them that they can gain. And that way you not only become a bookwise, but also you become a street wise. And that way, when you have the combination of those two, because at times you might find even an individual who is streetwise, but because due to lack of this bookwise or the book kind of a wisdom, there are some limitations. And when you have this one, I mean, do you see what I'm trying to drive at? It's good to have the combination of these two things at the same time. It's actually a synergy that can propel you all the way to the heights of this world. But at all the occasion, that wisdom, or that knowledge that you have as far as the book is concerned in your head, learn how you can be able to tap it, monetize it, and be able to make some cash out of it. This is that message that most of the people don't get it, but this is the reality. If you cannot be able to monetize the skills that you have, I'm telling you, forget about the money. That's a reality, and money really hates you. That's what you do it. Let's go to the point number 4. Point number 4 is none other than you having what we call money hates people, who we call them investments paranoias. Investments paranoias, or in short, paranoid people. You see, there are these people who we call them paranoid. There are people who you tell them, hey, guess what? I think this is the best time to buy stocks. This is the best time to buy what? This is the best time to invest on this. Hey, we are not supposed to save money in 2024. Let's invest. Let's bypass the saving part. Let's jump directly to the investment, because hey, when we save and then the inflation is there, is eating our money. Whoa. These guys don't buy that idea. They are like, hey, what if I lose the money? How sure are you? By the way, and they're just paranoias. In short, money hates people who we call them, what we call them, is this risk averted people, or these people who hate taking risks. And the moment you be an individual who doesn't love to take risks, then you're going to get yourself into lots of problems, because becoming wealthy, making a lot of money, should I say, attracting a lot of money into your life actually means you have ability to take risks. And obviously, when I say risk, I don't mean like closing your eyes and taking any risks that come on the way. No, you take what we call the calculated risks. Obviously, a risk that has actually been, subjected to tests and trials, so that you see, hey, if in case this happens, this will be my tactical withdrawal. This will be my exit plan. This will be the plan that I have, so that I can be able to expand and grow myself. You see, you have to be that kind of an individual. So money hates and individuals who are called the investment paranoias. If you have that kind of a mentality, whenever an idea is sold to you, maybe you usually watch my videos. The only thing that you do is just watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch. You don't take any action. You see, the moment you get the knowledge, fine, you get off the board of learning, and then you go try it, test it, try it, test it, try it, test it. In that process of trying and testing, that's the time now you acquire something. That's the time now you hit that what can work for you, and that's how you develop and grow yourself. Allow me to go to the last one, but not the least. Or rather, the last one, but not the least, obviously. Now, that goes to point number 5, is that money hates people, we call them the hoarders. This one I won't stress much about it. I've been talking about like a million times. Hoarders are these people who just take money, keep it, and they usually have this mentality of, money does not grow on trees. Money. They behave as if money is a scarcity commodity. It's not there. The moment you get it, keep it. Don't even use it. Just keep it. See, money hoarders, these are not the so good people when it comes to cash. So once you get the money, obviously, rule number 1 is don't lose your money. Number 2, make sure that you grow your money, because money love to make babies. And those babies are the one what we eat. Those babies are the AKA, we call them the passive income. Just the way we give birth, also money love to give birth. Those baby money, that's what we eat. And then the parent money, you subject them to a good nesting areas where they can be able to propagate and give more babies as we progress to the next level. That's it. So don't be a hoarder, be an investor. And again, money also loves people who are called spenders. But spenders on this perspective, spenders on the perspective of investing. See, there are spenders who buy consumables, and there are spenders who invest. So if you're spending to invest, well and good, you're going to be friends with money. But if you're spenders to, sort of cater for the consumability and consumables, you have the consumer mindset, you're going to get yourself into lots of problems. And you're going to work and work, work and work. You're going to get yourself into this thing we call the rat race. And once you're in a rat race, I am telling you, your money that is on the hand is dependability, or it depends on whenever you are active out there. And the more you grow old, the less active you become. So you're supposed to find areas or ways on how you can be able to make some cash using what we call the passive ways. Anyway, guess what? That's the end of my video. But don't forget this. I always post a video each and every day. My name is Joseph. Hit that magical button, that is the like button, and also hit that subscription button so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one.